Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to a discussion on ukulele basics for guitar players. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you've got a fairly good knowledge of the standard chord shapes on the first 3 frets of a 6-string guitar and of the name of the notes that the open strings on a guitar are assigned. The ukulele tuning is similar to the guitar tuning, but there are 2 really key differences. Let's look at those differences. The first difference is that the open strings on the 4-string ukulele are the same as the notes that's produced on the 5th fret of a standard 6-string guitar. So I've got this capo on the 5th fret. It's the same as me pressing my finger down on those frets. And the first 4 strings on the guitar now become A, E, C, and G. If you doubt me on that, please stop the video and you can count the notes up. So the open string being E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and where the capo's sitting is the note A. And you can double check what I've just told you, but trust me, the notes are A, E, C, and G. And they are the open strings on a ukulele, with one exception, and here comes the critical difference. The 4th string of the ukulele is not the lowest pitched of the open strings. So on this guitar, in normal guitar fashion, as we go down a fatter string, the note is a lower note on the guitar. What happens on the ukulele is we have an A, an E, a C, and yes, we do have a G, but it's 1 octave higher than you would expect that G to be if it was on a guitar, the 4th string. So the 4th string on a ukulele is the note G, as you'd expect on the 5th fret of a guitar, but it's 1 octave higher than you think the note is going to be. And that's a big part of the magic of the ukulele. That's why a ukulele does not sound like a small nylon string guitar. It's that critical change to the octave of the 4th string on the ukulele. We'll look at that a bit more in a moment. If we take some of the standard, what could be called cowboy chord shapes on an acoustic guitar, hopefully you'll recognise the shape I'm fingering there at the moment is a G chord shape on the guitar. And if I was playing that up here on the 3rd fret, yes, it would be a G chord. But remember, we've got our capo on the 5th fret. And what that does is it shifts every chord shape up what is called a major 4th. What that means is I think I'm playing a G chord, but I'm actually playing the chord built from the 4th note in a G major scale. So a G major scale would be G, A, B, and C. The 4th note in a G scale is C. So the chord shape that I think is G with the capo on is actually C major. Now, of course, on the ukulele, we only have 4 strings, so it's no good putting our other 2 fingers up there. We don't have those strings on the ukulele. So that is a C chord on a ukulele. If I just play the finger on the 2nd fret, that's a beautiful chord called a major 7th chord. In ukulele tuning, that's a C major 7th, and a C 7th chord. Okay, when we go to the C chord shape, what we would think is a C chord, and up there it would be, where actually the rule stays the same. We're now playing the chord that's built from the 4th note of a C major scale. So a C scale would be C, D, E, F. So our C chord shape on the ukulele becomes an F chord, and so on. So our other standard shapes, for example, on the guitar, an A 7th shape, what do you think that chord would be? Just put your mind to that for a moment. What's the really, there's only one rule, and that is it's the 4th note of the major scale of the chord you think it is. So you think it's an A 7th chord, But really, it's the fourth note in an A scale. A, B, C sharp, D. So what we think is an A7th chord on the ukulele is actually a D7th chord. What we think is a D7th chord on the ukulele is the fourth note in a D scale. D, E, F sharp and G. So that's a G7th chord on a ukulele. Now, if all of this is double Dutch to you, don't worry. There's plenty of tutorials on the internet that look at major fourth intervals. If you've got any questions on that, just drop me an email. I'll give my details at the end of this video. But don't get too worried if the conversion, if you're finding that conversion a little hard to do in your head. Let's grab a ukulele and see how what we've just talked about applies on the instrument itself. This is my Fender 52 Telecaster electric ukulele. It's a beautiful little instrument. I've had this instrument now for under a year. I've been playing the guitar for well over 45 years now, but it's interesting that I've never owned or played a ukulele prior to this current calendar year. And I've always thought that a ukulele was just a shrunked down guitar, a little mini, a cheap mini nylon string guitar. But if you listen, the minute you strum the open strings on a ukulele, you can tell it's very much not a guitar. It's not a little guitar. There are similarities, yes, it has frets, but the standard tuning is vastly different. The fact of that lowest string, what we would expect to be the lowest string, so listen to these open strings on the ukulele, remembering they are the same as the 5th fret position on a guitar. So we've got an A, an E, a C, and what we would expect to be the lowest note, a low G, no, it's an octave higher. So again, that's what, when we strum the ukulele, it instantly sounds like a different instrument to the standard guitar. Not only has it got 4 strings, the tuning, particularly that little 4th string there being an octave higher than you would expect it to be, instantly you're playing a different instrument. You're playing a ukulele. The good news is everything you've ever learnt about the guitar applies instantly to the ukulele. We're just talking chords today, not lead. But if we look at those shapes again, if we look at what would be a conventional G shape on a guitar, well, that's a C major chord on the ukulele. C major 7th, C 7th, and remember we said if we played what we thought was a C chord. Now, because there's only 4 strings, it's no good putting your finger up there like you might on a 6-string guitar. It's going to do nothing. But the first 2 fingers of a C chord shape on a guitar become an F chord on a ukulele. Now, all of the standard chord shapes apply instantly to the ukulele. If I take this shape here, which you may or may not have learnt yet on the guitar, but that's the shape of a diminished 7th chord on a guitar. It instantly retains the chord family and the chord name on the ukulele. That is a diminished 7th chord. In this case, it's a G sharp diminished 7th chord. But again, the tuning of the ukulele gives it a little bit of a different character. It sounds like the ukulele playing a diminished 7th chord. Okay, if we take an E7th shape on the guitar and play it on the ukulele, can you get your mind around what that chord would actually be if you were playing along with a guitarist or a piano player and they said, what's that chord you're playing? If they wanted to play along with you, if you're playing a 12-bar blues and you're playing that shape, so you're playing the shape of an E7th chord on the guitar, can you work out in your mind what that chord really is on this instrument here? Think of this, there's only one rule, and that is it becomes the 4th note, the chord built from the 4th note of the major scale of the guitar shape chord. So we're playing an E seventh chord. The fourth note in an E major scale would be E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So that on the ukulele is an A seventh chord. A seventh shape becomes D seventh. D seventh shape becomes G seventh, because the fourth note in a D scale would be G. D, E, F sharp, G. That's a G7, and we're back to a C. Now, it's important to understand that the ukulele is not a transposing instrument. Even though we're going through this discussion of a major fourth transposition between guitar and ukulele, the ukulele is a concert pitch instrument, the same as the guitar and the flutes and you know, all of the stringed instruments, the pianos. This, if you were reading music on the ukulele, you don't need specific ukulele music. When you play an A on a ukulele, if you put your guitar tuner on, your guitar tuner will tell you that you're playing the note A. So the notes that you play on the ukulele are in concert pitch. Different to, for example, a B-flat trumpet. So if you play C on a B-flat trumpet, your guitar tuner will tell you that you're actually playing B-flat on that trumpet. Hence, that's why it's called a B-flat trumpet. If you play C on an alto sax, an E-flat alto sax, your guitar tuner will tell the sax player that he or she is actually playing the note E-flat, yet they're playing C. So the alto sax and the E-flat alto sax and the B-flat trumpet are transposing instruments. The ukulele, no, it's the same as a guitar. It's a concert pitch instrument. The transposition is really for people who have grown up playing the guitar, like me, who now want to play the ukulele and not have to learn everything from scratch. And the interesting thing is, you haven't got to learn anything from scratch. It just becomes an issue when you want to play the ukulele with other instruments, and in other words, play in the same key. If someone says, let's do a blues in A, well, you know, thinking of the A shape on the guitar isn't going to do it. You've got to do that conversion so that your guitar-shaped chords that you play on the ukulele are in effect the correct shapes for the ukulele. So what I'll do just to finish on is I'll just play through that chord progression, all those chords we looked before, and I'll just strum it as a rhythm part on a ukulele, just so you can get the sound, you can hear the sound, that it really is its own unique instrument. And you should think of it as a ukulele, not a small guitar. Okay, so I'll just play that progression. Okay. It's a fantastic little instrument. I saw a YouTube interview very recently with Sir Paul McCartney of the Beatles fame, probably the most famous songwriter, certainly in popular music in the last 100 years. And Paul McCartney said, the minute he sees an adult holding and playing a ukulele, he instantly loves them. He wants to give them a hug, because he himself loves strumming a ukulele, and it's just such a beautiful, friendly, happy, peaceful instrument. You just couldn't imagine an angry world if everyone in it was given a ukulele to just have some fun with. It's just such a beautiful, peaceful instrument. I hope that's been of some help. As always, keep in touch via my website, www.brianhayes.biz. That's .biz. Send me an email if you have any queries about fundamentals for ukulele from a guitarist background. I'm more than happy to answer some basic queries via email. I do offer online Skype one-on-one lessons on all of the instruments that I own and play and teach and record on. So if you've got any questions, drop me an email, but do enjoy making music on your ukulele. Bye for now.